The following program is a production of Pioneer Public Television.
In this episode of Postcards,
he said, the best bluegrass festival in the country, bar none, is in Minnesota.
So the language has been there all the time. It's just a matter of us coming to the language.
The noise, you know, and the activity in the shop is, I refer to it as like a beehive. There's a lot of people running around, very busy.
This program on Pioneer Public Television is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4, 2008. Additional support provided by Mark and Margaret Yekel Julien in honor of Shalom Hill Farm, a nonprofit rural education retreat center in a beautiful prairie setting near Windham in southwestern Minnesota. ShalomHillFarm.org. The Arrowwood Resort and Conference Center, your ideal choice for Minnesota resorts offering luxury townhomes, 18 holes of golf, Darling Reflection Spa, Big Splash Water Park, and much more. Alexandria, Minnesota, a relaxing vacation or great location for an event. Explore alex.com. Easy to get to, hard to leave.
at the Bluegrass and Old Time Music Festival in Richmond, musicians gather from far around to celebrate American roots music.
The Minnesota Bluegrass and Old Time Music Festival is a 4-day event. We start on a Thursday night with our main stage act, and we'll end on Sunday. The first festival was 34 years ago, and it was held up at the Wildwood Campground up at Taylor's Falls, and it moved to Zimmerman, Minnesota for a number of years, and now here for the last 12 years, I believe, 12 or 13 years. My name is Brett Day, and I'm the main stage coordinator for the Minnesota Bluegrass and Old Time Music Festival, and I've been volunteering for the organization for 26 years. My task is to get the main stage ready for the main stage acts, the bands, each year, and then coordinate the MCs, and just generally see that everything runs smoothly on the stage.
Have one microphone and one song.
I dreamed last night I was a-crawling and a-creeping. Dreamed last night I was a-crawling and a-creeping. Dreamed last night I was a-crawling and a-creeping. And I slipped in the room where Mary was a-sleeping. And I ain't gonna do it no more.
The organization built a stage, and it was just, again, an all-volunteer organization. We have joined with El Rancho Mañana, one of the largest campgrounds in the state of Minnesota, and it's just north of Richmond, Minnesota, and north of Cold Spring. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful camp with just acres and acres of camping available for those who want to come out and listen to some great music.
1, 2, 3. This group, Bluegrass Firelight, we're all students at East Tennessee State University in Johnson City, Tennessee, and we're all majors in bluegrass, old time, and country music. It is the only major of its type anywhere in the world. And we all have a deep love for this music and its history and its future, and we want to, help carry on the torch.
This is one of the 3 healthiest bluegrass associations in the world, not just the United States. And it's just a prize. We'll have 6,000 to 7,000 people come to this festival, and they're so driven, and the energy is electric. There's 4 days of nonstop jamming. If you can get sleep in, that's a good thing. But the music is so compelling, it's driving me.
Very nice, very nice.
I'm playing an open-back clawhammer banjo. This is a cobbled-together version of what the slaves brought over from Africa. When we brought the slaves from Africa, we didn't pay any attention to their religion or their cultures. We simply scooped them up and brought them over here. We didn't realize that there were 62 plucked lutes that were present over there. And when the slaves got together over here to celebrate, they started cobbling instruments together because they were so homesick for their music. So this could be any of 62 plucked lutes from Africa. We call it the American instrument. It did take this form over here, but its initial roots were way in the dark country of Africa.
When I was a kid, I always thought I'd have to go out to West Virginia to go to a bluegrass festival. And then, this is like the best kept secret, because many years back, a friend of mine, I was talking about this, and he says, oh no, you don't have to go anywhere. He said, the best bluegrass festival in the country, bar none, is in Minnesota. And it's this festival that we're at right now. We bring in major talent from, all over the country. We've had, you name the bluegrass group, we've had them here. So it is the who's who of bluegrass has been on our stage.
What we have back here is a quilt that was made for the 30th anniversary of this festival. It was to celebrate it, and it shows some of the headline bands that have played here in the last 30 years. People like Alison Krauss and the Osborne Brothers and J.D. Crowe and Doyle Lawson and Jim and Jesse,
and the 3
Claire Lynch and Jimmy Martin.
Indeed, and you're here, and they are here in Minnesota. I think that's pretty cool. Here in Minnesota, ready to entertain you. So,
I have a small, really low power FM transmitter that we plug into the board, and then we transmit through a short distance of the festival everything that's going on the stage. A bluegrass festival is way different than any other kind of festival in that probably 85 to 90% of the people that are here are musicians of one way or another. You talk about family friendly, and this is about as family friendly as it gets. That's exactly it.
Do you have an idea for the Postcards team? Email us, postcards@pioneer.org. We visit Dakota Wicohan in Morton, where we learn how the Dakota way of life is remembered, reclaimed, and reconnected.
For me, I always say, I'm Dakota, and so it's a part of me, and without the language, I'm not whole. I can't be myself and be completely self-determined until I figure out who I am, and I think the whole power within it, and the language is sacred, and so it's really something that you don't take lightly when you start learning.
My name is Glenn Washichana, and here at Dakota Wicohan, I teach the Dakota language. It's not so much me teaching them, that they come here to learn the language because they feel that a part of them is missing.
There's a ton of policies that were meant to eradicate the Dakota people in general, and they used a number of efforts, but one of them was boarding schools that really had a significant impact on why there are few speakers today. And so my grandma and my grandpa and many others of that generation went to boarding school and were discouraged from using the language. In some of those cases, it was a negative experience, and so out of protecting their children and their grandchildren, that language was not passed down.
It's up to us as Dakota people to start speaking the language. So the language has been there all the time. It's just a matter of us coming to the language.
Anybody can learn it. There's people at the University of Minnesota who aren't Dakota, and they're learning it, and they want to become teachers, which I think is beautiful. I have some of my classmates come down and help me teach, because I'm a teacher apprentice. They're the same level, so then I have more people in the room to help teach, and there's more language being conversed.
Hey Nietzsche. Hey Nietzsche.
Glenn's our teacher, and he told us to come with a story, so we all came up with a story that's personal, so it comes from our hearts, so then we'll remember it more.
Oanka yujaja pi he'eha, wikoshka, ka koshka, ka wichina, ka ina ob, Fort Ridgely, hechia osdoha unki chumpi, he o iokpi, marshmallows mihadui.
And I feel like the storytelling in that aspect of learning and how it's personal and relevant to you, that's how you remember it.
So we're all learning to kind of reclaim what our stories are and practicing doing that. Hey han, San Francisco on tuwe ga kia I, hechia chue tawak chi ti, ampetua omani I, iechikopte ga chape, iechikopte license plate, Minnesota owapi. Ha ha, yeah. Iechikopte inaji, wichashta hecha, wichashta he yashicha hecha. Inamitawa, Minnesota hemata ha, ea. Oha, mija, Minnesota hemata ha, ea. So basically, I told you a story about my parents, how they met. They were in California, but they were both from here, and then just happened to meet. He went by in his car and it had a Minnesota license plate. So it's kind of a funny story.
We don't have like textbooks or anything. It's our oral history. It was always passed down. And so that's why it's important that we always say, just teach a sentence, teach a word, teach anything to anybody, the language, because that's ensuring and that's securing that that's going to be passed down and that's going to keep going.
What's in the language that makes it important to an identity, and I can only talk about my personal identity with it, is that it's what I grew up with. My grandma was a first speaker, so I heard her speaking. My aunts and uncle were speakers. It just brings that sense of identity back to you of who you are and where you came from. The other aspects of the culture that we try and bring here, In the Shutanka program, we have the horse lessons. You know, we use the horse to teach the kids leadership, and also their sense of belonging there as well. So we have a lot of different programs that bring in that leadership aspect and that identity.
I'm a Wakoshka, and what we do is when I was a Wachina, which is a young girl, I was taught by another Wakoshka, and I was taught like the language and some of the culture. The main thing I like to do in this program is teaching the young girls the leadership skills and the language and the culture, because I know that it's being passed down to a younger generation that can keep it going.
So Wikoshka is young women, Koshka is young men. So the beginning of the programs, there's a lot of grants and a lot of funding for making girls become young leaders, but there wasn't a lot for men, for boys to have programming. So we found some money, and so that one's just prospering too with the Wichina, and they're working with Ryan, and they're doing awesome things. So they've been learning songs for almost a year now, and they've gotten very far, and the community is really respectful to them because they go to powwows and they go to different things, and they do the honor songs. So they're doing the same things just for men and for boys.
What we do in the evening time when we gather with our families is we provide a meal. We have a meal. You always have to have a meal. You know, food brings everybody in. And so we provide a meal and we say a prayer. We have our meal prayer in Dakota or even in English sometimes. And then our DTAs, we have 4 DTAs that teach a language lesson.
The thing about this word is it's a whole sentence. Damakota. I am Dakota.
And after the language lesson, we all circle up again and we sing the thank you song. And then we let the families know what the next activities are and just give them updates and welcome back for the next following week. Remember, reclaim, and reconnect. Yeah, those are the 3 areas that we work on. And the remembering part is a part of our video, our documentary, and our reconnect are all of our programs that we have with our youth and families. And then our reconnect piece is with our newsletter, our Facebook page, and just to go out and connect with the families and the language and culture.
Being Dakota means a lot of things, like it's not so much learning how to drum or how to sing. It's all part of a bigger picture. There's a lot of things that come into play when these young people come here. We try to instill a pride of being Dakota, and I think that's the most important part.
One time during an interview for a grant, one of the guys asked why we do the program and why we do the Dakota 38 Memorial Ride is if we're trying to shame other races, and I think that kind of offended me a little, because we don't do things here to shame other people or to make other people feel bad about the past. What we do here is more to move on from the past and to continue growing. So I guess the one thing I'd want someone to know is that we don't do this because it's what we're told we have to do. We do this because it's important to us and because we want to remember things and learn from them, not to make other people feel bad for it.
Visit Pioneer.org for more information on Postcards and other Pioneer productions. The busy factory floor at American Surplus in Montevideo can barely keep up with demand as they usher in a new era of ice fishing.
The days of fishing out of the old wooden boxes are over. There's still a time and place for that, but we've taken a step further.
Ice fishing has been a part of Minnesota culture for many, many years. Started out with the shacks and the shanties and the villages that you've seen, you know, like in the movie Fargo. An ice castle is they call it a portable fish house on wheels. We take them out ice fishing, obviously, in the wintertime, drill holes in the lake, catch fish. In the summertime, people use them for camping. In the fall, they use them as a hunting shack, overflow at their cabin.
We were making storage sheds before, and then we got a call from our dealer up in Black on Claim Freight to build a fish house. So we built one, and it was sold before it even got up there, and that's where it all started. We had no idea that ice fishing, ice castle would become what it is today. I mean, it's crazy. We built 2,100 last year. Now I think we're on pace to build 2,500 this year, so it's nuts.
The noise, you know, and the activity in the shop is, I refer to it as like a beehive. There's a lot of people running around, very busy. Everybody has a certain job that they're specialized in, and they do a fantastic job of getting it done. Like I say, they're specialized in it. They do 10 of them a day. The noise gets up there, the decibel level is pretty high with a lot of saws and compressors running and nail guns and everything like that. It's a very, very busy place.
To get certified to be an RV, we had to apply with RVIA, the Recreational Vehicle Industry Association, which means we have to follow certain codes, certain safety codes, window size, that type of thing. Having that RVI certification has definitely been a benefit for our business. Our business has quadrupled since then. And that ability to be able to go into campgrounds and to be considered an RV and also to be financed like an RV, that opened up a whole new world for us to get that certification. What's so special about an ice castle? Well, let's take a look inside. This is our 8x16 Signature Series. It's one of the top of the line ones. So we have cedar interior. It's tongue and groove cedar interior. This one comes equipped with a boat seat. It's got skylights, LED lighting, satellite dish, stove, microwave, sleeping for 5. This folds down into a bed. There's storage down here. Plenty of storage in these cabinets. We're famous for the camo interiors. The ladies like that a lot. This one comes equipped with a little bathroom area. We, of course, use the bucket method, so at least you have some sort of privacy.
Well, we just had our first fishing contest, the Ice Castle Classic. It turned out very well. We had over 3,200 people, so looking forward to next year's, getting in more vendors. Should be a success.
Fish was a 16-pound buffalo carp. There was only 5 fish caught. We had 50 prizes, so we just did a drawing for the rest of the prizes. We did give away all of the prizes that we promised people we would. It was nice. It was nice. A lot of the response I got to having it here on our home lake was, you know, it's about time to have something local, something close to home. Local, you know, a lot of our local people like to ice fish. If you go out to Lac qui Parle, there's all kinds of little dotted villages out there. So it was nice to have something close to home in southwestern Minnesota. I really enjoy, it's important to me, I really enjoy my job. I use the product. I have an ice castle. I've had 3 of them now. It's a lot of fun. It's something new every day. We keep a lot of people employed in this area. This is we're one of the larger employers in the area. I think that's very important for rural Minnesota to have companies like ours out here.
Working for the company, you know, it really fits my lifestyle. It's what my hobbies are, myself and my family. Like I said, we're big into fishing. We love fishing and outdoors. That's a perfect fit.
I love working with my family, you know. It's not, you know, I get to see my dad every day. Long hours though, long hours, but I don't mind it. It's fun.
Have you ever been to Richmond in November when the cold Virginia rain is pouring down? Friends, I'm here to tell you it's no pleasure when you're all alone and a stranger to the town. Don't take me wrong, I do like East Virginia, and Richmond's full of hospitality. Except for one Virginia girl I know of, who's made a perfect love wreck out of me. Blue, Virginia blue, there ain't no blue like the blue Virginia blues. There's no girls in the whole wide world can break your heart like Virginia girl, and there ain't no blue like the blue Virginia blue.
This program on Pioneer Public Television is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008. Additional support provided by Mark and Margaret Yekel-Julien in honor of Shalom Hill Farm, a nonprofit rural education retreat center in a beautiful prairie setting near Windham in southwestern Minnesota. ShalomHillFarm.org. The Arrowwood Resort and Conference Center, your ideal choice for Minnesota resorts offering luxury townhomes, 18 holes of golf, Darling Reflection Spa, Big Splash Water Park, and much more. Alexandria, Minnesota, a relaxing vacation or great location for an event. Explore alex.com. Easy to get to, hard to leave.